Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with classical music's most powerful, quiet climaxes. And this is one of my very favorites because it involves that king of instruments, the tam-tam. We're talking about the ending of Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony, the Pathétique, the most eloquent, gripping, and gut-wrenching depiction of utter despair, the plunge into the dark abyss. Oh, yeah. And it's all because of the tam-tam. Well, not exactly. But that tam-tam stroke is controversial because Tchaikovsky marks it. If you look at the score, it's quite interesting. Tchaikovsky marks it ad libitum, meaning do it if you have it, but you don't have to have it. And that has caused a real problem, I think, in interpretation of this particular moment. Because if you do have it, you really ought to milk it a little bit. The strings are sighing and sobbing, and then there's an ominous pause, and then with the tam-tam. And then the trombones come in with their chorale of doom. It's just phenomenal. It's an amazing moment. The problem is that because it's an ad-lib and because Tchaikovsky couldn't be sure that he would have a tam-tam, or the orchestras would have a tam-tam that sounded appropriately, that's really the issue, because you want a really dark, spooky sound with a nice swoosh and decay. And most tam-tams in Tchaikovsky's day were like dinner plates. They just went splat. And they weren't even that low-pitched. If you actually look at them. And we know this, by the way, from various sources and from surviving instruments and whatnot. And so if you have the right instrument, then what Tchaikovsky should have written, and I don't mean to criticize the man, he was a genius, but what he should have written is ad libitum, and if you have one, stick a fermata over it. So there's a pause, because as it is, there isn't enough time in most performances for the tam-tam to make its effect before the trombones come in. So it's like, yada, the trombones. It's just, you need more time for the tam-tam to speak, for its shuddering ripple effect of utter bleak horror to resonate within your soul. It just needs more time. Now, some conductors managed to make the most of it. Charles Munch, he's got the best tam-tam stroke in the business. Most performances, you barely hear it at all. It's marked pianissimo or triple, only lots of P's. But it's got to be audible. It's got to be a moment. It's a moment. And quite often you can't even tell the tam-tam's there before the trombones come in and cover it up, which is really annoying. In the performance we're going to hear, there is some sensitivity. It features Antony Witt and the Polish National Radio Symphony Orchestra on Naxos, and it's one of the better versions of this. It really is, because you actually hear the instrument. It's a dark, deep instrument, and there's enough time, because of the tempo he chooses, before the trombones come in, for it to have some sort of effect, to add at least to the texture and the general mood and atmosphere that Tchaikovsky is trying to create. Most performances don't even bother to do that, which annoys the crap out of me. Oh, it's just so wrong, so evil, so un-Tchaikovskyan. So let's listen to the passage in question, the final recap of the opening bars in the strings as they get lower and lower and softer, the tam-tam, and then that mournful trombone chorale that's just amazing, and that Mahler obviously took a lesson from at the end of his Sixth Symphony, I have a feeling. And then the final measures, as all feeling just ebbs away into a dark pit of complete despair. Gosh, it's wonderful. It makes you feel so good when it's over. Anyway, here it is. Now, if that is not a powerful, quiet climax, I don't know what is. It's incredibly gripping. And one of the most marvelous things about it, of course, is that you don't know when it really ends. It just gets darker and darker and softer and softer and softer, and you strain to hear the ending. That's what makes it climactic. There's tension because it's effortful to actually listen to those final bars, to try and figure out when the symphony finally expires in complete oblivion. Yeah, cool stuff, isn't it? So, keep on listening, friends, and go for those quiet climaxes. They're marvelous. Take care.